Preparing for a date. White shirt, watch, and blazer, and place. Adjusting my hair a bit. What fragrance to choose? Maybe Leighton from Parfum de Marly. What if she thinks it's too strong? Maybe Side Effect from Initial. But what if she thinks that is too sweet? Maybe even too feminine. Oh, but maybe Tobacco Law from Dior. But what if she doesn't like tobacco? It can be a struggle choosing the fragrance on the first date. Have you seen all these videos about panty dropper fragrances, first date fragrances that will secure the second date? What else do we have? All these fragrances will get you laid and all that bullshit. Well, many reviewers know that many people search for that. That is what people want to hear. And the reviewers also know that the companies want the reviewers to tell the people that. They want the people to believe that fragrances will get the job done. But that is just not true. It's a lot of bullshit. And today in this video we're gonna pick a hole in all that bullshit. Hi, my name is Tim and welcome to another edition of Smelly Sweet. No, you heard the warning alarm here before. Well, that is because here you're gonna hear a bit of truth that companies don't want you to hear maybe, or that some reviewers don't want to share or tell you. And it's just basic. It isn't a secret that most women prefer a man to smell fresh and clean, to smell that he takes care of his hygiene. So on a first date, why wear something that smells the opposite of that? Not that it smells dirty, because it can smell sweet. You might go for the sexy fragrance. You want to smell attractive, you want to smell seductive, you want to smell sweet, but it is a risk. Going with those scents, it is a risk that you don't secure the second date. There's never ever going to be a fragrance around that will give you the second date, but there will be fragrances that will be the reason you don't get the second date. So that is kind of what we're going to talk about here today. So fragrances that might risk you getting a second date might be Spice Bomb Extreme, because she might think it smells too sweet, and for that reason, if she prefers fresh scents and doesn't like sweet scents, she might say no to the second date. Another fragrance, the whole line actually, that might cost you a second date is the Le Male. Ultra Male in this case, well, most often referred as a clubbing scent, but I have seen so many talking about this being a panty dropper fragrances, that the woman will follow you, but it is strong and it is powerful. So if she is sensitive to fragrances, she might get a headache of this one. And why give her excuse to blame on headache? I just don't figure it out. I just don't get it. Another one that goes in that category is Leighton, that we often see referred as a sexy fragrance. No, Angel Share. Going with this one, you play a big risk, because she might think you smell too feminine with this one. And that is also something that can be a reason to not go on the second date. The same thing with Tobacco Law, can be too feminine for some. Another fragrance that you might be surprised that I haven't seen being suggested as a panty dropper fragrance or anything like that, but that I still would recommend not to wear on a first date is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. Why, you might say? Well, it smells clean, it smells fresh, but it is overpowering on the grapefruit. So in my mind, in my opinion, and what I think is that if we come with this one with the strong projection of the grapefruit, is that she might believe that you covered yourself in a cologne to hide a bad odor. Now, another fragrance, gonna just mention it a little bit briefly and quickly, because I do absolutely love this fragrance, and that is Roja Enigma pour Homme, or the cologne version, or Creation E, or what you want to call it. Now, for me, this one smells a sexy gentleman, but I know my wife didn't like it at first. She thought it smelled like horse shit. So that can just show that a fragrance that we in Fredcom talk about as a lovely Coca-Cola opening, tried on with a sweet, boozy cognac, tobacco, vanilla, for someone that isn't into fragrances, it can smell completely different. Now, Let's move on to the fragrances that I suggest would be a great alternative to wear on a first date. It's not gonna get you laid, it is not gonna drop the panties, but it won't cost you the second date, and that is most important. So let's start off with something for the younger audience. Boys, this is appropriate for teenagers up to 20, Sora Cool Heights. Now, Sora is a tricky company because they keep changing, out of stock, in of stock, change name, change bottles, whatever. But I believe if you go to Sora, you can find something that reminds you of this. This opens up with Szechuan pepper and bergamot, so it has a fresh, sweet opening from the Szechuan pepper. And then violet leaves comes in, gives it a little bit more of a powdery feeling to it, combined with the leather. Again, but the leather is very subtle. I can't say it is a leather fragrance, so don't be scared if you look it up at Fragrantica, because I don't get any leather of it. And dries down with a warm tonka sweet feeling without losing the freshness, but yet again, it's just gonna last you 2 hours. So on a date for 2 hours, it's perfect, but if you're going for a longer date, wear a decant with you. I do like the scent, but I don't wear it as I feel it's a little bit too juvenile for me. So let's step it up a notch. If we have something for the people that are 20 to 25, I would go with Valentino Homme Born in Roma. Yet again, you have a small hint of sweetness here. It isn't overpowering the sweetness. You have also some aquatic feelings to it, so it's very appropriate for that age group for a first date. So it won't definitely don't be the reason you don't get the second date, but it won't help you get the second date either if you aren't kind, nice person. Now, we're gonna move on with the age groups and go with something that I think is more appropriate for 30 to 35 years old, and that is Niche4all. Yet again, you have a greenness in here, a greenness from, I believe it is tobacco leaves. You have a freshness as well from the opening, and also a small hint, a small hint of sweetness. No, this isn't going to be overpowering. She's going to feel that you have a cologne, that you smell clean and fresh, but also something more to it, a little bit more deepness to it. Niche4all too. Now, we're going to move on with a designer I think is appropriate for every age group. You just simply can't go wrong with Niche4all L'homme on a first date. Very easy to like. Never heard anyone say that they don't like the scent of it. And it's overlooked lately. People are saying that it has lost the performance, it doesn't project anymore. Well, you don't want to over project on a date, and it's gonna last you 3-4 hours, so perfect for a first date. It's gonna smell that you smell fresh, that you smell clean, but there's also a fresh spiciness to this fragrance. So for me, this is the ultimate dating fragrance for the first date. For the first, second date, maybe even the third. You need to establish that she likes fragrances, that she's into fragrances before you move on. Now, step it up. No, we're gonna step it down. We're gonna step it down a bit to a combination of indie house and a niche fragrance. Now, yet again, I think both these fragrances are age appropriate for every age group. Aegean sea salt and citrus from Theodoros Kalotinis, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Aqua, Celestia, Forte. Both have a similar opening of citruses with some green herbs to it. So a little bit cheaper, 50 ml for $45, and I believe this one is $170 for 70 ml. Both I think are very good and could even, I would say, even help you to secure the second date. Because when you go in for the hug, she's going to be hit by that lovely fragrance, and that might just convince her that you take care of yourself in that way. Lavender Citrus is a classic. It is a take on Colonia from Acqua di Parma. More age appropriate, I would say, for 35 years and upwards. True, a gentleman fragrance that you can't go wrong with. She's gonna she's gonna think, she's gonna feel that you take care of yourself, that you are very particular with yourself and your hygiene. Very good one, without being, you know, you have that calming lavender. It's just a classic, just a staple. We're gonna move on to the more expensive ones, some niche fragrances. Now we're going to talk about xerjoff. I've got two fragrances. One that I've seen being suggested, xerjoff Naxos. I think it's too strong, too sweet, big chance that you won't like it. One that I could suggest but not going to suggest is Renaissance, for the same reason you don't wear light blue forever. Just too sharp on the grapefruit might give her a feeling that you're trying to hide an odor. So what xerjoff would I go with? Well, I would go with Torino 21. We talked about Francis Kurkdjian and Theodoros Kalotinis. This one is in the same genre but greener and sportier in a way. So, but you have to be careful, not too many sprays because it is more powerful. But if you want to just test her on the first date, if fragrances is a big part of your life and you want to test her out, go with Torino. Now, we talked about Roja as well. If you still want to go with Roja, I would suggest Elysium. Now, I do know my wife is an absolute sucker for this one, so it does smell fresh, clean, can't go wrong, apparently, if you ask my wife, or you go with Oceania. Now, when it comes to Oceania, I don't think about the ocean, I think more of a mountain lake, but it's very, very easy to like. You smell newly bathed, without a lot of that shampoo and that stuff, that's not going on, but you smell like you've just taken a refreshing swim in a lake. That is my opinion. Now, age appropriate for this one is every age group. Roja, Elysium, I would say more around 30 and upwards. Now, we often see these videos about pineapple DNA. People always say, oh, it just attracts a lot of attention for boys. If you want to pick up a boy on the street, wear the Aventus, blah, 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 lot of bullshit yet again. If you want to catch a cougar or a MILF or a lady from 35 years and upwards, I do know that many of them do appreciate the pineapple DNA. That was just a little bit of an inside tips for you who go for older ladies. That was all for today, I believe. I hope you do enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment sections, do you think I'm onto something with this or not? So until the next time, everybody, you know what to do. Stay safe and be well. Bye!